Hi and welcome to assignment 4 of topic 4, which is just the third and last exercise about highest frequencies, finding the highest frequency of some stream of numbers. So this is the exact same assignment as before. Now it's of course 3. Whoops. There we go. It's the third question. So again, write the program that asks for numbers between 0 and 99. If given a number outside of this interval, just stop asking input. Finally, print the number that was entered the most. And you can print -1 if there was no valid input. And print out, and that's the difference between the previous two exercises. Now you don't have to print the smallest number with the highest frequency or the largest one as in the second exercise, but just all the numbers. So if I have different numbers, let's say 13 and 57 7 and 57 both having frequency 13, then both numbers must be printed. Okay, so let's do this. I will of course lean on the previous solution. Okay, and that's this one. Okay, this is actually the solution to highest frequency 1. So the first one of the exercises with this topic. And what I'm going to do now is figure that the highest frequency number is not just a number anymore. I might have several numbers having this highest frequency. So I will just call this highest frequency numbers. And I will start off with 0 again being the one with the highest frequency, because I have no better assumption to make. But now this has to be an array, because 0 will be one of the numbers with the highest frequency, of course, until I find higher frequencies or numbers with the same high frequency. Okay, so the highest frequency will be, of course, the frequency of the highest frequency number, which doesn't exist anymore, so I'm just going to add 0. So the highest frequency will be the frequency of 0, but I don't need this highest frequency. I actually didn't use it in the previous exercises, so I can leave it off. Let's do that. And now I'm going to again run over all number indices and the frequencies array. So that's going to be all numbers 0 to 99 included. And if the frequency of, so I now have two cases, okay? In the previous exercise, first exercise of this series, I had any frequency being higher will be the highest frequency, and I will keep track of that number with the new highest frequency. Or I will even keep track of a number that has the same frequency as the highest frequency, in which case I'm not getting the smallest one but the biggest one. Now I'm going to split these two, okay? So two things are going to happen. Either I will have the frequency of the number being higher or equal than. Okay, let's check the separate cases first. Okay, what's going to happen if I have a new no, let's check what will happen if I have a frequency of some number. I'm checking, so I'm checking all numbers from 0 to 99, and I happen to have a number which has a frequency that's the same as the frequency of my highest frequency number. Okay, of course highest frequency number doesn't exist anymore, so in this case it might be nice to track the highest frequency. Okay, funny how I set up the variable in the first two exercises and there I didn't use it, but now I'm going to use it. So this will be of course the frequency of 0, because that's the first number in there, and I'm going to assume that it's as good a guess as any that the frequency of 0 will be the highest frequency and 0 will be the number with the highest frequency. So anyway, I have numbers, just 0 in there, and the highest frequency of 0 will be the frequency of 0, okay? Which from the beginning will be just of course the 0, as all frequencies are. Then if I find some frequency for my number that's higher than the frequency of sorry, I was doing this one. If I find some number with a frequency that's equal to the highest frequency, let's say, Okay. Then I have found a second number or a third number, well, another number with that highest frequency, and I'm just going to push it to the array. So I'm going to have my highest frequency numbers being pushed this new number. Okay. So let's say I have at some point the highest frequency number being 7 and the frequency of 7 being 13, and I run into some number 57 now, and the frequency of 57 seems to be also 13. Then I'm just going to push 57 to the number that already contained 7, okay, and I will have two numbers in there. But wait a minute, you say, if we start off with 0, having a frequency of 0, then if I'm going to have a higher frequency, okay, I cannot just push to the array, because whatever's in the array is not valid anymore. I will have found a new higher frequency, and that kind of obsoletes all numbers inside highest frequency numbers, because they all have the next biggest frequency, so the old highest frequency. So what I need to do is just assign a new array. So I'm going to assign it a new array, and for this, of course, I must be using let and not const. And in this array, I'm going to already put number there. Okay, and of course, now I have to keep track of the fact that my highest frequency will be the frequency of this number, or if you want, the highest frequency number again, but this one doesn't exist, so it must be number. Okay, I don't have this variable here. So I found a number which has a frequency that's bigger than the frequency of highest frequency number. So I will forget about the highest frequency numbers up to here, because I have found a higher frequency, so all of them are obsolete. I'm going to make a new array with just this number in there, assign it to highest frequency numbers, and I must now keep track of the fact that the highest frequency is now the frequency of my new number that I just discovered has a highest frequency higher than the previous highest frequency. But if that would be the case, then I will check the same number I just assigned, and it will of course have the highest frequency, so it will be pushed again. So for that, I need to switch these two ifs. Okay, because it might be that I have a frequency of a number that's equal to the highest frequency, just push it to the array, and then of course it will not be bigger. Okay, so this if will be skipped, but it might be that I have a frequency that's not equal to, because it's bigger, then this one will be skipped and this one will be executed. Okay, so the other way around is wrong. Let's try this and see if it works. No, and I still have some mention of highest frequency number, which doesn't exist anymore because now it's an array, indeed. So this must be, of course, printing all numbers. So I'm going to check out the highest frequency. If it's still 0, then I will have to print -1, or otherwise I will just print the whole array of highest frequency numbers. Let's hope this pans out, and then we're done. Let's see. No, this is not okay. I still have a highest frequency number reference there from copying the solution from my earlier exercise, and this must of course be the highest frequency. That's why I need to keep track of this in a separate variable. Okay, let's give it one more try. Well, at least I have some running now. And let's see what it gives me. I have an actual of 1 and 3, but it expects 1 and 3. So let's see the difference here. So it's about having new lines there, okay? It's the way the array got printed, okay? And actual, I get this, okay? And I need this. So I need to actually print all numbers separately, and I'm going to add, have to add a new array here. In this case, I can't just use io.write to print the array, because seemingly it does something different. So I will need a for loop with all numbers from 0, I being the index of my highest frequency numbers. Okay, going over all my highest frequency numbers. And well, I can use number again. Okay, it's just a local variable. So all numbers from no, I'm wrong, because the numbers are actually the ones in there and they are not the indices. But I can show you another for the first time, and that's going to be for let number be all numbers in in highest frequency numbers. Okay, so that's a new kind of for that says just I don't care about the indices anymore. I'm just caring about the values in the array. So let all numbers in highest frequency numbers pass, and I'm going to print them. And it has to look like, let's check the tests. It has to look like this. Yes, let's see the difference again. It has to be this, okay. Kind of strange, because it's only a small difference, right? There's commas in between and we need to print them, but it's not as an array, so I'm going to just print them separately. Okay, so let's do this. So just print the numbers. I have that right. I don't know if this is going to be the right way, but it's worth a try. Okay. -1 seems okay. Better would be, even though we're not allowed because of the tests written for this assignment, but better would be that you actually wrote an empty array, okay? Because, well, after all, an empty array is exactly what's the best representation, because this piece of code is going to return me an array of numbers. If none apply, then an empty array would be the better answer instead of -1, okay? But well, our hands are tied here, so let's see if we can get any closer to a solution. No, and I think the first one now is gone as well. It needs to be 1, and it actually got 0, so something's off definitely. Let's go back to the former example. Here we are, and that's going to just print highest frequency numbers. See what's wrong there, because I had one test more turning green, right? Okay, so the first test seemed okay, and this is about the format. Okay, this is just about the format. 350 and 350 50. So let's again see what's happening here. I actually got this. Let's just print it out and see what happens. Okay, so I'm just going to have some numbers in there. I'm going to run it. Okay, let's give it some numbers. 1, 2, 1, 3, 1, 4, 3. I have 3 ones. Now I'm going to add 3 threes. Okay, and a big number. It gives me 1 and 3. Okay, so that's how io.write treats my array. Okay, and what do my tests want? They want just to get rid of the comma, I guess. Let's check it out. It was about the comma, right? Let's run this test again. This is it. Right, it was about the comma. See? No comma, I have a comma. So I can't have the comma. That's right. So I need the for loop. And I'm going to have to print. Let's do it with a string. Okay, so let's just start off with the result being a string. So I'm going to have to do it like this. Let the answer be, or the result be, some empty string. And I'm going to now do the for loop, go over each number. And of course I can have this, and I'm going to add at the end of my result this, and here I have to add to my result a number plus a space, right? And I can't do this for the last one. So I have to get rid of the last space. Okay. So let's just run it and see how the test fails. Okay. Okay. So I have, of course, I need to print my result finally. Okay, and I have to add it to my result, and then print. I forgot to write out the result. Okay, let's see. I have 0 and 1, and 1 and 3. So it needs to be all numbers off, not in, highest frequency numbers. When you use n, you get the indices back, okay, like a regular for. Almost there, see? I think the space is the only thing I can't use anymore. Let's just check it out. I don't have commas in the expected, right? So it seems okay. Almost there. I can do this only in the last case, or except in the last case where I can't have this one. So let's turn it into a regular for, shall we? There we go. for all numbers, no, for all indices inside highest frequency numbers, I'm going to just add highest frequency number I, so the highest frequency number, and then I'm going to conditionally add a space only if I is smaller than highest frequency numbers dot length -1. Okay, so I is smaller than okay, that means that it will be up to the second to last one where I will add a space, okay, to separate from the next number that's going to be added. But of course, in the case of the last number, I don't need to add one. Let's find out. Not still there yet. Okay, seems to be okay almost. Okay, I can't have these guys seemingly. See, this is the actual version giving me the number with square brackets, and I must have just this one. This is not part of the output, this is part of the messaging from the test framework. So I can lose this one and lose this one, and probably this will take me some way closer. This is okay. Now let's see this one. The expected does have a comma, okay? So we need to have a comma. Let's try again. I need a comma instead of a space, or perhaps a comma and a space. I don't know. Let's try it out. Does it work? No. Let's do without the space. Still not there yet. So let's see what the difference is. Seems like I have new lines there, so I can probably add a new line just to check out, and then I can ease up on the code because new lines are provided by i.write anyway. Yes, we're good to go. So there's no need to do this. I can just go over my highest frequency numbers and just print them one by one because i.write is going to provide a new line. Okay, so highest frequency numbers I don't need to check this. Okay, this is of course highest frequency numbers at position I. So if this is green, I can do better yet. Yes, because now I can only, I don't have to do this. I can just write all the numbers. Okay. And this is okay. So now I can ease up on the for loop as well because I need all numbers. Let number be all numbers of highest frequency numbers. And then I can just print number, okay? Because I don't care about the indices to reach the numbers. So a for of is going to give you all values. A for in is going to give you all indices in the variable before, written before the of or the in. So that's it. Case closed. Okay, we had some chisel with the output, but no problem with the real logic, which is up here. See you in the next exercise video.